Hello, Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you so much for being here for this little bit spicy power flow that we're going to do today. So there will be some dynamic transitions throughout. So please do always listen to your body and only take options that feel right for you. So we're going to start the class in a comfortable seated position, and this practice today is just going to get us stretching, strengthening, balancing and connecting, as always, body and mind, increasing our awareness and sending our gaze inwards as we flow through. So I want you to bring yourself into your comfortable seated position, either cross-legged or going into Sukhasana. And we're going to bring the hands into Dhyan Mudra, so placing one hand underneath the other with the tips of the thumbs touching. Closing the eyes or taking the gaze out in front. And this mudra is a symbol of receiving wisdom, connecting to consciousness. Palms of the hands facing upwards is also a gesture of receiving new energy. So thinking about what kind of energy you want to bring in, you want to receive and cultivate today and in your practice and outside of your practice. So relaxing the shoulders, letting the sitting bones sink down into your mat. Pausing to sit with your breath. And opening the eyes back up when you're ready. Bring the hands to the knees or the thighs. Inhale, roll the shoulders, make space across your chest. And then as you exhale, round the spine, draw up the head, draw the belly button in. So inhale, opening the heart, lifting the gaze. And then we exhale, round the spine, draw the belly in. One more inhale, shining the heart forwards. And exhale, rounding through the spine, dropping the head. Inhale, come back up to center. Lift both hands so they're reaching directly out in front. And inhale, reach the right arm up and over. Take it into a twist. Right fingertips. Keep your gaze on the right fingertips as you inhale, reach that right arm up and around till it's back out in front. Now take your gaze over your left fingertips. Inhale, follow the fingertips as the arm reaches up and around into a twist. Really notice the shoulder, the back of the body as you move. And inhale, keep your gaze on the hand as you bring it back around. So once more on each side. Inhale, gaze over the right fingertips, sweep that right arm up and over till you find a twist. And circle it all the way back around to the front. Last one, left side, circling that arm around. And then drawing it up and around and back to the front again. Well done. And relax the arms. Take the right hand down to the right side. Inhale, stretch up and over to the right. And float the left hand down. Inhale, lift up and out. Exhale, stretching over to the left. So starting to move into that side body. And float the right hand back down to the ground. Now moving into your tabletop position on your mat. Bring the weight into your right hand. Pivot your right foot out to the right side and open up into a modified Vashisthasana. So right leg's bent, left leg's lengthened. And feel this line of energy, so from the left fingertips reaching all the way down to the left toes. This deep stretch going through the body. From here, lift the left leg away from the mat. And this is where we're going to start to get a little bit spicy. So just stay with me, modify, make it your own practice. We're going to sweep this left leg up and around, so the left leg stepping next to this right hand. So now we're in a low lunge. Tuck the back toes under, power through the back leg, high lunge. Lifting up and out from the waist. Bring your hands into heart center, power into your left leg, find your Virabhasana 3. So finding that warrior 3. Press the back heel out behind. Maybe your head is in some plants like mine has been right now. So take a step back if you need to. Breathing here. Then we're going to sweep this right leg through, bend your right knee, bring it in towards the chest. Left hand comes to the right shin. Inhale, right arm floats up and over into the twist. So gaze is coming to the back of the room. Either working here for anyone who wants a little bit more, you could bring the left hand to the outside of the right foot and lengthen that right leg. Make sure that you're keeping that space across the chest. Now releasing the right foot, breathing into any wobbles and shakes. Take a big step back to the high lunge. Bring your hands down to the mat, step it back to plank. Flow through a chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Remember that. Now drop your knees down to the mat. This time we open out onto the left side. So left foot is coming out behind, finding your modified Vashisthasana. So right leg's lengthened. And finding that deep stretch from the right fingertips all the way down to that right foot that's connected to the mat. Breathing here. Now start to lift the right leg away from the mat. And you're pivoting, floating that right leg around to the front. Tuck under the left toes, power up through the back leg, find a high lunge. Nice, well done. Hands come to heart center, power into your right leg, find Virabhasana 3. So finding that warrior 3. Breathing here, press through the left heel. And then start to lift the chest. Float this left knee in towards the chest. Right hand takes the left knee. Inhale, sweep the left arm up and over. Find your twist. Can you send the gaze out behind? Maybe you bring the right hand to the outside of the left foot and start to lengthen through that left leg. Just an option. Keep breathing. Now start to release the foot. Take a big step back to high lunge. Bring the hands down to the mat, step it back to plank, flow through chaturanga, inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra, and exhaling back to downward facing dog. Taking a moment here, we're going to take it into some spinal waves. So on the inhale, drawing the belly in, rounding through the spine, shifting forwards into plank. And then exhale, lifting the hips back up to the sky for downward dog. So inhale, we're rounding. And then exhale, bending through the legs, floating the hips back. Inhale Inhale, coming forwards, bringing the shoulders above the wrists. Exhale, pressing back. Last one, inhale, rolling the body forwards. And exhale, pressing it back. Now this time we've got some options to add in a little bit more spiciness if you wish to. If the last sequence was enough for you, you're going to stay with that. So you can drop your knees down, come into a modified side plank, or you're going to come into your full Vashisthasana. So you're either going to open out onto right side full Vashisthasana here, or you can have that bottom leg down and work there. So either staying here or having a little bit of fun, maybe bending that left leg, coming into this kind of tree version. So then from here we're going to pivot the right foot and see if you can float this left foot all the way around to the front of your mat and meet up in a high lunge. I know. Don't worry if you're adding in some extra steps. Please, please do that. Make this practice your own. So from your high lunge, power into your warrior three. It's the plants again. So power through into your warrior three. Option this time to reach the arms up by the ears. Try and keep the hips square. I know if you're someone who's got quite open hips, as I do, my hip always wants to open in my warrior three, so I'm always working with trying to shine my hips towards the mat. From here, I want you to bring your hands down to your mat, so almost in this standing split position. Then you're either going to work in your standing split, or if you have handstand in your practice, a little opportunity to kick up to handstand, using that left leg. That might not be your preference, but just working with a little bit of handstand playtime. Then bringing that foot back down, walk your hands in, lift the chest. Just try and keep this right leg lifted the whole time. And we're going to bring it through. So you can either take your twist again, as we did last time, or you're going to bring the peace fingers to the right big toe and then lengthen that right leg out in front. You can always use a strap here. Breathing here. So really important to keep the space across the chest. Option to now open that right leg out to the side. Maybe you can send your gaze over to the left. Maybe you have a wall in the way. Well done. Start to bring that right leg back out in front. Inhale here, exhale, maybe seeing if you can take a little fold over that front leg. Well done. Release the hands, point the toes, holding that right leg out in front. And then take a big step back with the right leg. Float the hands down to the mat, step it back to plank. Flow through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Or take your child's pose. Whatever you're feeling for right now. So this time we open out to left side Vashisthasana, or modify it and drop the left knee down. Option to take your tree variation, bending in that right leg. Breathing here. Breathing into any wobbles, any shakes. Pivoting around, stepping that right foot through. Reach the fingertips up, meeting in a high lunge. Lift up and out from the waist. Power into your right leg. Find your warrior three. Bring the arms up by the ears. Just an option. Press back through the heel of the left foot. Try and keep the hips square. Breathing here. Float the hands down to the mat. Get ready for either standing split or a little bit of handstand playtime. Kicking up using the right leg this time. Ensure that then coming back down, walk the hands in, start to lift the chest, and we're bringing this left leg through. Peace fingers coming to the big toe. Reach the left leg out in front, right hand comes to the hip, space across the chest. No worries if the left leg has a bend in it, doesn't have to be completely straight, and you can work with a strap here as well, which is a really nice option. And then seeing if you can open that left leg out to the side. Maybe the gaze can come over the right shoulder. And floating the left leg back out in front. Inhale here, exhale, seeing if you can take a little fold over the front leg. Lifting away from the fold, take the hand away, point the left toes, hold your left leg out in front. And start to float the left leg back, finding a high lunge. Bring the hands down to frame the front foot, step it back to plank, and flow through chaturanga, inhaling into upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to downward facing dog. Breathing into that space. On your next inhale, we're going to step the right foot through between the hands. And then pivot into the side of the body, bending through the right leg. Find your right side Skandasana. Shine the heart up towards the ceiling. Flow over into your left side Skandasana. Make your way back to right side Skandasana. And then we'll bring the left hand down to the mat. So we're facing forwards again now. Inhale, sweep this right arm up and over and pivot onto the knife edges of your feet to find your revolved Skandasana. So lovely stretch into the right hip space. Inhale, float that right arm back up and over, ground the hands into the mat, step it back to plank. Take another vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time we inhale, sweep the left foot through between the hands, and then open out, find your left side Skandasana, using a block or staying higher up if you need to. Bring yourself over into right side Skandasana. And take it back to your left side Skandasana. Pivot back around so that you're facing forwards, right hand grounded. Inhale, sweep the left arm up and over. Pivot onto the knife edges of the feet, revolve Skandasana. Breathing. Inhale, coming back, stepping back to your plank position now. Final chaturanga if you wish to take it. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Then we're going to drop the knees down to the mat. Sit the hips down towards the heels. We're going to come into our hero pose. So what we're doing is we're bringing and rolling the calves to the outside and bringing the heels to the outside of our hips and rolling the calves out and then sitting the hips down in between. So it could be that your hips are coming down to the mat here, or you may like to bring your hips down to some blocks and have them stacked up. Just being really, really mindful of your knee joint. If anything does not feel right on your knees, then please do not take it, and just come into an alternative seated position. So coming into your hero pose option here. Hands on the thighs, closing the eyes or taking a steady gaze. Connecting with some slow, soft breaths. Noticing if you can feel your rib cage expanding with your breath. Maybe your breath feels a little bit different now from the beginning of the practice. And now starting to lift the hips, come away, and exhale, sit the hips down to the heels, melt the forehead and the chest down to the mat, finding your child's pose. Closing the eyes or taking a steady gaze. Breathing into the back of the body. Letting this practice absorb and observing any feelings that you can notice mentally, physically, emotionally. On your next inhale, opening your eyes, walking the hands back in, starting to come away from your practice, back to a comfortable seated position or kneeling position on your mat. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here and joining me in this practice today. I hope you enjoyed it. And do feedback to me on how you're getting on, and if you're enjoying these types of flows, what you want to see more of on here. I always love hearing from you. There's links below to other practices that I offer that you might enjoy, and other online things that I do, as well as this YouTube channel. So do check that out, and please do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. It's completely free. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Well done for giving yourself this time today, and I can't wait to hopefully flow with you again really soon. Bye bye.